back to this channel where we spread love and positive vibes. And I want to start by thanking our new subscribers and our returning subscribers. We value you, we don't take you for granted, and thank you once again so much. Today I'm going to talk about something that actually made me sad and feel so bad. By the way, I've heard about this, but some of you guys, you told me it's not really like that. But I've come to realize it's actually an issue in Jamaica. And that is why I've decided to talk about it today, because I've seen so many people complaining. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact that Jamaicans are not allowed to access their beaches. First of all, Jamaica is a very beautiful country with very beautiful beaches, with very beautiful landscape, and I cannot imagine that the people of Jamaica cannot access some of the beaches. By the way, some of you told me that there is what we call the private beaches, and there is a time a white lady came to complain that the Jamaicans themselves entered a hotel where she was in, and they were very badly treated, and she felt bad for Jamaicans to be treated very badly in their new country, in their own country, not in their own country. And therefore, here I have some messages coming from some of you and coming from the foreigners that actually come to visit Jamaica and see the kind of treatment, the kind of language used by the people who own the beaches and the hotels. I could not believe it. It is unbelievable. It is sad. It is so bad to actually experience such a thing in your own country. So let me first read the comment that people were commenting on this issue of Jamaicans not allowed to access their own beaches. So we have this one who says, actually the name of this one is Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman says, this is a disgrace. I hope the Jamaican people win their class actions. So that is a comment from one person. And we have other people commenting. There is this David Thompson. David Thompson says, I stayed in Jamaica about 5 years ago in a scandalous resort. In other words, he's saying that the resort he was in was very scandalous. And he says, and was shocked to see no locals on the beach. You can imagine, this is a beach, a resort, which is in Jamaica, but this guy stayed in the resort for 5 good years, and he did not see a local Jamaican visiting the beach. And he continues to say, we were told not to leave the resort because it was too dangerous, so I did leave. In other words, they were cautioned not to leave the hotel, not to leave the resort, not to leave the beach, because outside there is very dangerous. I wonder who is this who was cautioning them, because, hey, anyway, let me go on. And says, probably the best thing I did, I had the best time with the locals. In other words, this guy did not listen to the caution that he should not come out of the resort. So he came out of the resort and met the wonderful people of Jamaica, and he says, I had a very good time. I had my best time with the locals. The beaches belong to the Jamaican people, and they should have access to their beaches with no question asked. And he tells Jamaicans, fight for your rights, people, and don't give up. Because you cannot believe that this beach is in Jamaica, and you are told as a visitor that you should not come out of the beach because outside there is very dangerous. And this guy decided to come out of the hotel or the resort, and he says he had the best of his time with the locals. Who is this who wants people not to come out of the resort or not to come out of the beach and go outside? Is this a person who is after the welfare of the Jamaican people? And there are people who answered him, or rather who commented below his comment, and they say they use the word dangerous just to keep the people from the locals. So they don't want the visitor to mix with the locals. Why? Why? This is the big question I was asking myself as I was reading the comments. And someone also says, do you know the level of crime in Jamaica? Yes, they should not be kept from so many. This one is also another one. Anyway, let me go to the another comment. So this one says, this is Dale Carrington. And Dale Carrington is from Barbados. And he says, as a Barbadian, this is wild to me. When I visited Jamaica, it was a shock to him when he visited Jamaica. We have a law here against blocking the public from beaches. In other words, in Barbados, the locals are supposed to go to any beach they wish, and they have passed a law that no local should be prohibited from going to the beach. This is crazy. The beach is our birthright, and for sure it is. Jamaicans have a right to go to any beach they feel like because they were born there. And this one says, I left Barbados from the time I was small. I'm grown now, but wasn't there a time when all the beaches in Barbados weren't public. I only asked because the mighty Gabe made a song back in the 80s called Jack the Beach is Mine. So initially in Barbados, the natives were not supposed to actually visit some of the beaches. But it's like it was discussed by the government of Barbados, and they agreed to pass a law that actually allows the locals to go to the beaches. Same here in Virgin Island. All these are Caribbean islands, and therefore in Virgin Islands, there are laws in place prohibiting this unjust practice shown in this video. So in other words, in a Virgin Island, the locals can go to any beach they feel like. And there is a law to ensure no one prohibits the locals from going to the beaches. And then this one is saying, the mighty Gabe made that song when businessman Jack Deere was complaining about locals on the beach. He thought we were annoying tourists and suggested we limit locals on the beach. So there was a guy here who was suggesting the locals in Barbados should be limited to enter the beach, and Gabi, who is an artist in Barbados, sang a song and declared no prohibiting people from their own lights. And that is what this guy was talking about. And this one is telling him, you must be talking about the British Virgin Island. Then there was this one. This one is Brandon Smith. Brandon Smith says, wow, I actually stayed at the resort that they are showing in this video. So we are going to show you the video of the resort and the Jamaicans complaining about being prohibited from entering the resort. And this one is saying, this particular resort, he was there. And I remember the resort telling us to let them know if the locals were harassing us. What is this? That the people were being told to make the management know if the locals are harassing them. The locals, it is their country. They have a right more than the people who are visiting there. And therefore, what did he say? Actually, if the locals were harassing us on the beach, and for us not to leave the beach area of the resort because it's dangerous. He repeats what David had said. He says that they were warned not to come out of the beach because it is dangerous. Wonders will never cease. So I left the resort. So this one, just like David, refused to comply with the caution they were given. So he says, I left the resort, spoke with the locals, and bought a few plates of jack chicken from a local stand that put the resort jack chicken to shame. So guys, this one, just like David says, he left the hotel or the resort, spoke with the locals, and bought a few plates of jack chicken from a local stand that put the resort jack chicken to shame. In other words, he wanted to shame those people that were prohibiting them from going outside the beach. I went back off the resort again, this time with my wife, and she got her hair braided by the nice elderly lady. Most of these people are just trying to make an honest living. Now, of course, you should be aware of your surroundings when in many foreign countries, but these people are nothing to be afraid of. I appreciate them allowing us to enjoy their beautiful island. So this is somebody who is not from Jamaica, and he gives a testimony of his experience in Jamaica. Sorry for the inconvenience. There is a lot of rain here in Kenya, and therefore the electricity is going off and on. So I was talking about the people of Jamaica. The people of Jamaica are very warm and very welcoming and nice people. And therefore that is why these guys are giving a testimony of their experience in Jamaica. While they were being warned not to come out of the beach, outside there they found great people. So first of all, let us watch the video about the experience of the Jamaican people being prohibited to actually enter the beach, and then I'll come back to finalize the video.
We should be able to use our beaches. We are a beach community. We are beach people. We're a small island surrounded by water.
Jamaicans can no longer access their own beaches.
This is where they work. Say they don't have a other job. They don't have nothing else to turn to.
Tourists can pay for exclusive access to beaches at all-inclusive resorts, but everyday Jamaicans are increasingly being blocked out of that.
When you push a fisherman from a beach, where did you want him to go? We are living in between waters, and we have no access to a beach.
Some Jamaicans are organizing to take down the colonial-era land laws that still affect them today.
Jamaican came into emancipation landless and homeless, and that problem have not changed in Jamaica.
And they're suing companies for cutting off their access to the beaches.
And we also will not stop until the entire Jamaican public is able to access the beach freely. Tourists are get beach, rich people are get beach. When all come and buy, we have to buy access to the beach. That can't continue.
This is Steertown, a historic fishing community on the north coast of Jamaica. Local residents relied on the beach for their livelihood. But in 2020, two companies bought the land containing the pathways leading to Mammoth Bay Beach.
Discrimination. Yeah. Apartheid thing. We're tired of that. That must end.
The owners built a cement wall along the property, effectively cutting off surrounding communities from the coast. Lifelong fisherman Norris Arscott lives up the hill in one of these communities. Both his father and grandfather before him worked as fishermen at the same beach that he did.
All right. That's the hotel there, and the beach is just right beside the hotel there. It doesn't take me more than like 8-10 minutes from here to the beach. Now they push me off there. I had to do 10 miles each morning to do my fishing work.
To access the new fishing beach, Norris is forced to bike at 4:30 in the morning along a busy highway.
The entire St. Ann to St. Mary is blocked out from we, the fishermen. We've been paying taxes down there.
One of the companies announced a plan to build a 250-room resort on the land in front of Mammoth Bay Beach. It will sit beside two all-inclusive resorts that already block access to the coastline.
They don't have fences. They got mountains of concrete wall. You can see that.
According to local advocacy groups' calculations, less than 1% of Jamaica's coastline is accessible to the public.
Me, personally, have no access to another beach. So we had no choice than to go where they push us. Me been occupying that beach for 70 years. Those beaches was like our playground. The culture was all togetherness. All fishermen, all children, everybody was together.
Even at 70 years old, Norris still relies on his income from fishing. When weather conditions are optimal, he can make a bit more than Jamaica's minimum wage.
Sometimes I catch just about 4 or 5 pounds. It depends on the weather out there, you know. 4 pounds of fish would be like for $4,000. So I go every day as long as the sea is good. What else to do? There's nothing else.
Minimum wage in the country is approximately $85 per week. In comparison, the 2 all-inclusive resorts that operate on Mama Bay Beach can cost hundreds of dollars per person per night. Fisher folk like Norris often don't see the benefits of those tourism dollars.
I earn more money if I was fishing here. But what happened, I had to be going and coming to and from St. Anne's Bay to here to make $1. It's a far, tall journey to do from here at 70 years of age. They are pushing us back. This colonial system is coming right back at us. I'm sitting and I'm tired of being in this kind of life with these people called politicians. Majority of them is no good in Jamaica.
There are approximately 74 public beaches on the island, but many of them are in disrepair, charge daily use fees, or are difficult to access without a vehicle. Damien Combs lives in Steertown, down the road from Norris. Since the beach's access was blocked, he has seen his neighbors lose their entire source of income.
So we're looking here at jet skis, which have been parked, so to speak. Some of them are broken. Some of them have damaged engines. They would sell rides to tourists or sell rides to locals. Jet skis put food on the table. The thing that the government will tell you, and these hotels, that they create jobs. They create jobs, but what kind of jobs? You're actually working in a hotel, which you will never, ever be able to afford. You have all your independent people that did their own independent work and created their jobs that have lost those jobs. There are people that sell t-shirts, they're the fisher folk. Beach closing basically canceled all those jobs.
A grassroots organization called JABEM has started organizing communities like Damien's to fight for beach access. JABEM helps communities with advocacy, including organizing this protest and getting beach access rights cases into the courts.
You think our ancestors from Africa, and they come around here. They give us Jamaican nationality. But yes, they look like they give us peace here. They want to tell us that we can't go over there. And out here, we are here to repeal a draconian law passed during the colonial era that says that we, as Jamaica, don't have the rights, access, our God-given beach.
Jamaica gained independence from the UK in 1962, but many laws from colonial rule remain intact, including one called the Beach Control Act of 1956. The law states that the British Crown maintains all rights to the foreshore, and that the public has no inherent rights to access it. While the monarchy no longer governs, this law is still the primary beach access policy on the island, so legally, Jamaicans are still not guaranteed the right to access the beach. In other Caribbean countries like Barbados and Aruba, all beaches are considered public property.
And we have a slogan in Jamaica, one love. But where is the one love for the Jamaicans? By our government.
Devin Taylor is the president of JABEM, or the Jamaica Beach Birthright Environmental Movement. He started the organization in 2022 after his hometown was cut off from the shoreline.
We want the decolonization of this land. And all these colonial era laws must go. They no longer represent the ideals of the descendants of enslaved Africans.
Black Jamaicans still face systemic inequalities rooted in British colonialism. Jamaica was a center of the Caribbean slave trade. The British government granted enslaved Africans emancipation in 1838, but they didn't receive any reparations or land. Instead, it was slave owners who were provided reparations for their economic loss. Voting rights were originally tied to property ownership, and so landless Jamaicans couldn't vote until 1944. It's estimated that nearly 20% of the country's population still lives in informal settlements without land titles.
The moneyed class buy all the properties along the coastline. They're allowed to fence their property. Now we're in a crisis situation. It's what? Easily 35, 40 degrees today. My community that lives across from the road, less than 0.3 miles, cannot go to the beach. Tourists is monopolized. Comes off a plane, get into a bus, get onto a resort, never leave the resort. So money that would have spent in communities No longer. It stays into multinational corporation that then leaves Jamaica.
The Caribbean is the most tourism-dependent region in the world. But according to the UN, approximately 80% of all tourism dollars spent in the Caribbean end up leaving the region. This has been experienced firsthand by Shaneka Taylor, who sells souvenirs and food on the beach of one of these resorts at Cooper's Pen.
Yesterday, there are 26 of them in the group. Yesterday, they take them out to shop outside of the hotel. They spent over $1,000 getting T-shirts, clothing. So they said that they did not know about us here on the beach. They don't tell the tourists about us because the hotel have their own gift shops.
Shaneka and her fellow vendors set up makeshift stalls in front of the construction site of a new resort. But once the resort is built, they will likely have nowhere to sell. The construction already cut off local fisherfolk's access to the beach.
After the hotel is finished, I'm not sure what is going to take place. So we're going to have to move. And we don't know where to. We don't have a spot to put up our shops. Don't have nothing. So this is how we're going to have to pull down.
The tourism industry makes up approximately 20% of the country's GDP. But the Minister of Tourism has also acknowledged that the sector is known for low-paid, low-skilled jobs that provide little economic security. Access to tourists is often limited for Jamaicans like Shaneka, who sell food and souvenirs to make a living.
So the rules are 2 persons on the beach at a time, 20 minutes apiece. We're not supposed to go to the tourists where they're sitting. You have to stay at a distance. We have to call them to come to us. And sometimes they tell us, we have to go in the water to walk. Makes us feel sad sometimes because we are not going to harm the guests. We're not going to do anything that's not right. But the good thing is that they allow us to walk. So we kind of appreciate that.
Many of the other vendors at Cooper's Pen used to sell their products from a shopping village. They say they have been forced to move numerous times since construction began on the resort. While they all rely on their income from selling to tourists, the conditions they face to do so continue to get worse. There's no longer a direct path to the beach, so they trek through mangroves to get there.
So this is our path. This is where we walk. Sometimes it's rough because when the rain falls, the water gets high, about here. It's scary sometimes because we have to step in the water to get onto the beach.
It would be all like there. Swamp, big swamp, It used to be easier and faster to get to the beach. Where the fishermen, they used to access that beach. So it was a public, people go there and buy fish. Kids, they come and swim. The elderly people come and take a fresh swim out in the ocean.
We worry because a lot of persons have been here many years. So this is where they get their honest bread from. This is their 9 to 5. So they don't have a other job. They don't have nothing else to turn to.
Jabem is currently helping sue the companies and government agencies that have cut off beach access from communities. It has 3 active cases in the courts and has 17 more it plans to file in the near future. Norris and Damien are plaintiffs in one of these cases.
We are suing to get access to our beaches. We're not trying to tear down the development or tear down the commercialization or the building space.
They built the case around another colonial-era law called the Prescription Act. The law says members of the public can continue accessing a beach if they can prove that they've used it for fishing, bathing, or recreation for 20 years without interruption.
What we're saying is that we've always had access to this beach. Our ancestors accessed this beach. We are a beach community. We are beach people. We're a small island surrounded by water. We want the laws to change.
Jabem plans to take the Cooper's Pen beach closure case to court. While vendors aren't explicitly protected under the law like fishermen are, Jabem hopes that winning some of these court cases will lead the way to more permanent beach access rights for all Jamaicans.
We want to change it legislatively. We want it to be constitutionally enshrined that everyone in Jamaica have a general and unfettered rights to use our beaches. It's directly targeted at the Black descendants of enslaved Africans. We feel that pain. And we are marginalized in 2023. We need a new model, a new framework, and we're asking for that, and we will not stop until we get that.
You have heard for yourself, and I have read some of the comments and what people are saying about how they feel about Jamaicans being prohibited to actually visit their own beaches and socialize with the tourists that come to the island. Very, very sad. And this one says, I'm 41 and I'm so sick of society and money. I Jamaica, it's a high time you say no to such kind of rules that you should not enter some of the beaches. But I've seen another country actually saying they also experience the same thing. So this one is who? Us TV, and says, I see this and it makes me very angry because it is the same thing that have been trying to do in my country, Puerto Rico. So in Puerto Rico, the natives, the locals, are not supposed to enter some beaches. My Jamaican brothers and sisters, don't stop fighting for what is yours. So this guy is advising the people of Jamaica. The beaches belong to the Jamaican people and not to the company. The majority of politicians in numerous countries are enemies of their own citizens. And these politicians will always succumb to big business or anybody else who can give them a lot of money. Keep fighting until the Jamaican people are given back their beaches. So it was a sad story to me, and I just decided to feature it because I could not imagine the beautiful beaches in Jamaica and the locals are not supposed to actually go and enjoy the beauty of their country. Go and interact with the people that come to visit the island. Go and have a talk and get to know what is happening outside Jamaica. Because when you communicate with people, you get to understand the outside world outside of your country. So it is very, very wrong when the people that come to Jamaica are the ones who are actually complaining that they were told not to communicate with the natives, with the locals, not to speak to them, not to come out of the beaches, and without even genuine reason or explaining to them. And when these people defy the order and go outside, they find the great people of Jamaica and they actually see the wonders of the Jamaican people and the wonders of the island. So guys, it is sad, but I hope that the Jamaican government can reconsider this and allow the Jamaican people to actually get access to their beaches and enjoy their beautiful country. So guys, that is all what we have for today.